had to make my life hard. Okay, we should be back now. All right. Yeah. Yeah, someone phoned and ruined my internet.
There we
Great.
go. Sorry about that.
No,
It
it's
was
okay.
either that or it might have been me because my battery
No.
died
It was on my
seconds
side.
later.
It was 100% on my side.
Okay.
Um, but the only thing that would have made Code Vein even better, in my opinion, is crossplay.
Absolutely. Anything multiplayer, cross-player,
Oh,
especially stories,
oh,
things like that.
why did you go red
Well,
again?
you said your
What?
HP went red?
No, the HP, the stream HP. Yes.
Oh no!
Oh,
It's health bar.
we don't want it in the red. That means it's dropping frames.
Yeah. Luckily, frames isn't quite as bad as long as for what we're doing.
It shouldn't be dropping that much. I hopefully the
Yeah.
to be all garbled on the other side. I'm just gonna pause the video for a second. Let it catch back up, and then I'll start it back up again. But yeah, Code Vein. I hope it means they're gonna do another game like it. It's been enough time, maybe. It seems weird
Yeah,
that
I
they'd
would love a
announce.
sequel.
It seems weird that they just announced Code Vein out of nowhere. It's like Code Vein did another million sales, guys, after the Game Pass bump. I don't want to be
Yeah.
like people bought the game only on Game Pass. They probably saw it on Game Pass and was like, "Oh yeah, that game," and then they downloaded the new and improved demo, and were like, "Oh," and then maybe picked up the game. It doesn't matter what platform you bought it on. The Game Pass bring it back into the forefront, even though it just left not that long. I think it was on there for about a year or so.
Yeah, a year and a half maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's safe to
And
start the
that's all
video
it
again.
takes. You know, it doesn't have to be on there forever. The fact that it's on there and it gets people interested or playing,
I feel
that's
like
all it needs.
there's some games you do want to be on there forever,
Yeah,
even third-party
especially if
ones.
it's surviving off the player base.
Yeah.
That's when you want to keep it on there.
Yeah. Like I don't know how long Back for Blood's gonna be on.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge blow to that game. Just because it's had such a rough launch and it's slowly getting content back.
They've stopped doing more content for it. No more content coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to work on their new whatever. The last thing was the last thing, and I was like, well,
Oh, yikes.
crap.
Yeah. There
The
was
thing is, I liked the
so much
game.
potential.
It
Yeah.
after they changed the rules involving um the card draw. It was instead of doing a card draw every turn, it was you got you drew everything all at once. It made the game way more fun because like the card system was good, but it felt like you started so weak.
Yeah. Sometimes you're going to get to experience the powerful deck you've made because you just don't.
Well, it's like what order do I put these in? Like, and then
Yeah.
that's a whole other strategy. It's like, well, I get these cards off the hop, but and then just getting the whole deck just made the game better.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, but it did change the game a decent amount, I would say, but and maybe they didn't balance completely around it. However, I don't want to be a downer on it.
Yeah.
It's sad that they're not doing anything else with Back for Blood, since I think it could have. It felt like they were trying to build it out to be more, but I guess they're
Yeah.
a really small team at Turtle Rock, and
And I can understand that. Everyone expecting the next Left 4 Dead, and it couldn't do that. Not with the team it had, not with the IP itself.
the thing is that Left 4 Dead was as good as it is. It has not aged particularly well in some regards.
Yeah, I agree in that
And
aspect.
if you go back to play it, like it's still really good. And I don't want to downplay how many thousands of hours I had played of Left 4 Dead. Is
Yeah,
that I don't really want the same game. Like Back 4 Blood was a very interesting take on that sort of story based.
yeah. Left 4 Dead also is so. I think without the community supporting it with mods and content, it wouldn't be anywhere near where it is. Which is why I don't think Turtle Rock had a chance with this one. Valve and Steam itself have absorbed that Left 4 Dead IP to the point where some people expect certain things from it, especially in the new games that are trying to mimic that IP, and they don't see them because it's not something that you can put into a game. It's something you have to build as a community. But it's hard to get that community because not a lot of people are willing to try because they don't think it has what it takes or they don't think it's as good. It loses itself a bit that way.
Yeah. There's
Microsoft. Oh, go on.
there's definitely a bunch of things that lose themselves.
Microsoft has said 10 years is long enough for
Oop.
that for the Call of Duty franchise. That's funny.
Well, the thing is that you can't making an agreement longer than 10 years. Like 10 years is already insane. It's an insane
Yeah,
number of years for especially for an agreement like that.
especially because those kind of agreements don't exist.
Well,
See something like that because it's not something you have to physically create for someone. It's either assumed or talked about. You just never see it in writing. There's not a need for that. Like
well,
Minecraft doesn't have anything.
there's zero agreements with anyone. But
Yeah.
my whole thing with um excuse me,
Yeah.
with the 10-year agreement is, and I've heard a lot of people, oh my goodness, sorry. With a lot of people saying, "Oh, and he's gone. So I will keep you entertained till he gets back."
Was that on purpose?
No, I didn't touch it. I was on my laptop. I didn't kick you. What happened? You
You're like,
disconnected. I was like,
excuse me,
what?
and then it kicked me out. And I was like, oh, my bad. Did I do something
No,
wrong?
I had to. No, I had to burp again.
You
It's just
destroyed the entire podcast.
excuse me. No, now it is. That was the only the me podcast. Damn it. This is the problem. Okay.
He's becoming too powerful.
Okay. What the hell were we talking about? Okay, I just lost my train of thought.
The contract, the
Yeah,
10
the 10-year
years.
contract. So I've heard a lot of people be like, well, why don't you just make it forever? You can't make a business agreement that says forever on it. You have to
Yeah,
define a length of time with a business agreement, and it has to be feasible because
yeah, for both sides.
for both sides, yeah. Because if you look at it one way, um, Microsoft wants to just close this deal. They want to get done.
Yeah,
10 years is insane.
yeah. I mean, you can think about in terms of 10 years what happens with technology in general, but games, that's 10 new Call of Duties in 10 years.
I don't
I
think
mean,
we're gonna see
assuming they,
10.
yeah,
They're
I was
not
gonna
gonna
say
do
assuming
yearly
they stick with the
anymore.
yearly, but even if they don't, that's 5. You could even say that's free, and that's huge. Look at Modern Warfare 2019 till now. Do you want to know what the revenue of all that is? A couple $1 billion probably,
Yeah,
because
but
they
the
make
thing is,
usually a
like,
couple
what
hundred mil
happens
each one.
if the next Call of Duty's you like gets pandered or
Yeah,
like the one that
absolutely.
the one that Activision's making for this year? It sounds like is
Yeah,
it's not good. What if it's not good? No one likes it, and people keep playing
yeah,
the game before it.
and that
And
sometimes does happen. I mean, I enjoyed Cold War, and then I really didn't care as much for Vanguard, the way it handled, and then
yeah,
I liked this card.
Vanguard was
I was glad it had zombies, but it didn't have much story to it. The campaign was nice, but the multiplayer was kind of rough, and the zombies was really rough.
Like with that guy, I don't understand how you break a shield.
I don't know anything about Vanguard, but I know people were not happy with it for a lot
Yeah,
of reasons.
it wasn't finished. It was absolutely missing content. That's why I was saying with it with the zombies. Voice lines were messed up. Game content was unfinished. They kept saying they'd add stuff and trickled in a couple of things, but didn't actually finish adding the content they wanted to. It was really rough, and it's because the game kept collapsing on them, and they had that timer of, hey, we got to finish this every year, and they even had one of the other studios stop working on the newer COD they were working on, so they could work on this older one for a bit and fix it because it just fell apart. And that's the problem with these yearly timers. If you
Yeah.
know, and I know they're not working 1 year on it. It's basically
It
one of
well,
the
I
divisions works
know.
on 3 years in advance.
Yes, 3 years in advance is how they used to do it. I don't know if that's
Yes,
changed, but the thing is,
it
I don't
was
think that's.
Sledgehammer.
I don't know if that's feasible going forward. To be honest.
It's barely feasible now.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm thinking maybe after after Microsoft takes over, they're probably gonna change something in that regard.
And I'd love that, to be honest, because don't get me wrong, I like Treyarch, I like Sledgehammer, I like Infinity Ward. I would like to see Call of Duty with some of the combined talents of the three of them instead of one every year based on what they think is interesting at the time. Because so many of these interesting development teams, instead of crafting their own game, are stuck fixing the COD machine, and everyone gets a turn every year for it to spit out a new one. I would love to see some hard work put in for other games and letting some of these guys work on different things instead of just, like
Yeah,
Toys
well,
for
you have
Bob.
studios that are basically become support studios for Call of Duty because
Exactly.
that's how Activision makes money, and that's why I'm kind of hopeful because I don't hate Call of Duty. I've had fun with like the campaigns and whatever, but in the past, but honestly, it never really resonated with me. Like I got to play this every year, and I kind of fell
Yeah.
off the actually ever even caring about the franchise that much very quickly because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's a new game. 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 It's like, oh my goodness.
I didn't mind it first, but more recently I've been frustrated because
With how many
I
of the games are live servicey, it
exactly
just makes sense to do what they're doing with like Halo and make the multiplayer its own thing.
the reason they can't do that though is because they've already done that with Warzone. So even though it would be nice to have its own thing, they probably would do what they did with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where they don't even care about a campaign and it's just multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone kind of thing. Because I like the campaigns. What I usually would do with COD is I would buy it, beat the campaign at release, play zombies and multiplayer a bit, fall off a bit, play it on and off with friends, get the next one. But the way it's set up now, even if I'm getting skins and cool stuff like that, it doesn't carry over to the next one. So I only get to enjoy that skin for like half a year that I
Yeah,
worked
and I
really
think
hard at.
that's a problem because it takes so
Yeah,
much effort, and that's why I think it would be more interesting. I think what Battlefield 2042 was it 20 or 3042? I don't know. Whatever the new one was,
42.
whatever it was trying to do with like they play a little bit of like Battlefield history modes and have like
Yeah.
modes that were different time eras. That was cool. The execution was terrible, but the idea is
Oh
cool,
yeah,
and I think that's what you need to do with COD. Is you need to have like let people
absolutely.
play like the advanced warfighter mode or whatever, because
And it needs to work at release and not be broken, buggy, and exploding. But yes,
yeah,
100%.
and then you can just release the campaigns when you want to as like little like half price packs or whatnot, and just monetize the crap out of the multiplayer like you already do. But they're probably not going to. They're probably gonna do boxed copies with everything.
Yeah,
That change. It probably won't change for a while because they'll probably the next however many are already in development. Maybe change
yeah.
a bit, given more time if they need it.
Exactly, ease off. It's the same with when you stop medication. You can't ever cut cold turkey, or there's going to be a lot of bad effects. You got to wean yourself off, and I feel like that's probably what they're going to try to do. Because if they just stop, that affects all the dev teams, that affects the quality of the games going forward, disrupts the fan base. But you also can't keep this going. You have to shift into a different direction.
Yeah, we can't. This pace can't be kept up. It's too much.
Exactly.
It's literally
It's
just too
destroying
much.
the teams, it's destroying the fan base, the game quality has gone down, and it's not sustainable. It's not even going to make you the money if you wanted to do it. Yeah. Oh, I feel dumb. I feel like I was going to say something and I'm totally forgetting.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is going to sound so good on the show. I should talk about this. And now I've already forgotten. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm definitely having some
Already
kind of
forgot.
stroke.
I don't know. Did you pick up any fun games on the sales that were happening online? Digital
I
sales.
haven't yet, but I heard today also there's a lot of sales that just started, like a critically acclaimed one, and
Emerging
new publisher.
creators. This is the one
Yeah.
that just started. Yeah, the Veil's here. That game is so flippin' weird. Did you play the demo when it came up? You play it
No.
blind. You play a blind person. And you're literally blind.
Wait, that does sound familiar. Like the whole screen's black?
I think it's white or light, and you have to do everything through audio. Yeah,
Now that you say that, I remember something like that, where it was
it's designed
specifically
completely for the
audio.
blind.
Yeah, I think that's such a creative idea.
It's
Execution-wise, I haven't played it, so I have no idea if it works.
I
But
honestly, I was trying to play it on a TV. You want good headphones for that game like that.
oh yeah, I mean that's that is the experience at that point. Everything being audio-based. If you can't
Yeah.
feel which direction it's coming from, if you can't get into that mindset, I'm sure the game's not going to be very enjoyable.
Oh
But once you
man.
do those, I bet it's creative as hell. I would love to be immersed in something like that. There's so much we can do with the tech we have now. I feel like we don't have as much of the passion in the industry, but we have the tech. It's almost like when you're a kid, you have the time to play games, but you don't have the money. And then when you grow up, you finally have the money, but you don't have the time. I feel like that's what happened with the industry. We had these passionate people that wanted to make games for everyone to play and had all these awesome ideas, and the tech was just not there yet. And these days, we have that tech, but we lost a lot of those passionate people, whether they aged out, whether the industry swallowed them, and now they're all in there for the cod machine level of creating games, or the terrible crunch. It's destroyed a lot of the creativity and fun ideas that people had, to the point where it feels like it's AAA versus indie games versus the community. Like it feels so divided at this point. I think instead of indies feeling like up and coming, it feels almost like indies are created by people who like games slash the hipsters slash people getting into the business. And then you have AAA, which is the money grubbing, every game's the same, released every year, big company, corporate man. Like it didn't used to feel like that, in my opinion. It used to be like, oh man, the guys that made this game must really like games. And these days it feels more like that's only for indies. For AAA, it's like, oh man.
I think you might be painting the brush a little too wide. There are some AAA games that definitely are throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Mhm.
But usually those projects are smaller. Hi-Fi Rush comes
Yeah,
to mind, where it is literally, I would say, something that no one would have tried 10 years ago.
yeah. But Hi-Fi Rush is a good example, as you were saying. For me, and I'm definitely painting it a little broad on this because I'm just saying as a general consensus, not anyone in particular. But Hi-Fi Rush felt like a very passionate game that came from people who care about games in the industry. It felt like it was made by gamers for gamers, kind of thing. Um, whereas the newest Call of Duty or GTA getting another patch for more heists and outfits or a new battle pass for a game. It feels like that's a lot more of the current mainstream gaming. Not all of it, of course. There's a lot of passionate people that still work on stuff and have a good time. But I feel like it's getting harder and harder to find the hi-fi rush type of game. The fun game
Wait
that's
till
here.
we see whatever Double Fine's been working on. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I'm
you'll be blown
excited
away
for
when
when
that
it comes.
happens.
Oh,
I went back
I'm
to
definitely
play.
excited for that.
I never actually played. Uh, I wanted to say Rock of Ages, but I know it's not the name. Brutal Legend.
Oh, ironically, when you said Rock of Ages, I knew what you meant, even though,
I
yeah,
was like, that's what my head wanted to go. I'm like, that's the movie with Jack Black in it, not
it's a good game.
not the game. Uh, it's an interesting game. Honestly, not what I expected. The like tower defense kind of thing. I find it a
That's the
little
thing
bit.
about that game. No one had any idea because it wasn't even marketed that way. I feel like no one at the
Honestly,
time knew that.
honestly, it's not bad, but
Mm.
it's not what I expected. It didn't age super well, control wise at least.
Yeah.
Like I expected to play it a way different than it does.
Similar to most Double Fine games, the humor still holds up pretty well.
I mean, I like that it asks, like it stops to ask you if it's okay to swear
Yeah,
right in the beginning. It's like, is that
that's cute.
okay? Is this okay?
I was gonna
Oh, we're
do
gonna
this,
show
but
blood and
no,
stuff. Is that gonna
excuse
be okay?
me.
Yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah, I'm okay with this. All right, but only because you said so. The game just keeps going. The story's ridiculous. It definitely feels like something that Jack Black and Tim Schafer would come up if they sat down and
Yeah.
made a game together.
I feel like at this
Really
point they've got to be buddies. Like they just
Oh
have such a
yeah, did you
similar
watch the?
idea.
You said don't watch the Double Fine one with him? Like
I didn't yet. I
getting
still really got it.
getting like when Jack Black and Tim Schafer are just talking, it's funny. It's like
Yeah. They have such a similar mindset, I think. Like Jack Black, obviously, while interested in games,
Jack Black is a
isn't.
little more. Tim Schafer's more sarcastic and
Yeah,
kind of subdued, whereas Jack Black is more like bombastic and like in your
yeah,
face
yeah.
with his
You can
humor.
definitely tell with all his roles. But
So,
it's from a similar vein, is what I feel. Like, have you
oh
seen
yeah,
Tenacious D? Not just the band, but like the movie.
Tenacious D.
Yeah, in the Pick of Destiny.
No, I didn't watch the movie. I know Meatloaf. That's in it. I did not watch the movie because it's not
Yeah,
my thing. But yeah,
no problem. It's a very similar humor to what Tim Schafer does, and of course, there's a ton of people in that. You know, Dave Grohl, like you said, Meatloaf. They're in that, of course. Many
Big-
bands. It's yeah. He plays Satan. He's
of
a
course
cool
he
dude.
does.
That's Satan.
Of
Yeah,
course he
but yeah,
does.
it's a great movie because it's so Jack Black, but it's got that wholesome kind of vibe to it too, which I feel like he does more now. What was it called? Uh, School of Rock. That was a really cute movie I enjoyed when I was younger, and it felt like even though it was PG-13 Jack Black and not the usual stuff he would do,
Rated R
it
Jack
still
Black.
yeah, exactly. It still had that wholesome vibe, and he kind of brings that to stuff now, especially with his recent movies. Jumanji, Super Mario is coming out next month.
Jumanji was so funny.
I was so
Getting
surprised.
Jack
I was
Black to
so
play a
worried.
16-year-old girl was
Yeah,
just the best thing.
I was
If
so
you've never
worried because
watched,
the original was so good. I was so scared, but it was a phenomenal
oh my
movie.
god, check out my thing.
Oh,
This is so.
I was surprised how well The Rock and what's his
Oh,
name? I always fucked his name up. It's Kevin.
is it Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart, thank you. I'm like, it's not Kevin James. He's not a fat white man. What is his name? There's too many Kevins.
A lot of Kevins.
Kevin. Um, but yes, my long-winded way of saying I like Jack Black's wholesomeness, and him and Tim Schafer have that
Jack Black is
similar
an
comedy vein.
Jack Black's an insanely good actor. If you ever need
Yeah,
to see him like outside of comedy, watch the if you have the time, of course. You need to watch King Kong.
no, make time. That's a great movie, by the way. That
That's so
I
good.
didn't know where
Oh
you
my
were
God.
going with that for a second because I'm like, what has he done that's serious? I forgot he was the cameraman in
No,
that
he was the
movie.
director.
The director?
Yeah, and he's like
God, it's been
wide
a while.
angle, and the
Watch
whole
it.
stampede's
Yeah.
coming, and they're filming, and he's like, yeah, and the camera just gets up and runs away. Just like, damn, this
Oh,
like
it was a great movie.
he plays this guy so perfect. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
he was the
That's
perfect pick.
unironically something I love to see now is actors who used to, well, not used
They're
to, but
they're
usually do
typecast.
exactly, usually do a specific thing and then come out of nowhere and do something else, and it's phenomenal. Whether it's someone like
Um,
Jim Carrey, whether it's
oh god,
someone like
I can't remember
uh,
who's in it, but the movie that comes to mind when you say that is Stranger Than Fiction.
that was a great movie with Will
Yeah,
Ferrell.
yeah, Will Ferrell. That's I hate Will Ferrell. It's most of his stuff. I absolutely despise Will Ferrell, but I love that movie. That
Do
should
you hate like
that
the person or the actor?
I know I hate the way like the roles that Will Ferrell normally gets. I absolutely
Mhm.
despise. It's like,
That's
oh,
understandable.
please stop. No,
I know the kind of character, quote unquote, he plays in a lot of movies, so I know what you mean.
he gets typecast in. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. He gets typecast into. That's why
yeah,
when
and then you
someone's like,
see
"Oh, we go see
something
this Will
different.
Ferrell movie,"
Yeah,
I'm like, no." It's like he's not like his normal stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll give you a shot, but
yeah, and I feel like a lot of actors, that happens to whether it's they're too good at the role,
too
whether they just
serious.
kind of
They're
fit there.
too,
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
it's nice to see them play something else and get to flex the acting chops a bit. Like,
oh my god, you know my favorite one is Carl
what?
Urban. He can play anything. He can literally play. I don't care what anyone says. That man is fantastic. Did you even know he played Dredd? I bet you didn't.
Wait, in the recent one?
Yeah, that's Carl Urban.
I always forget that. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
I've
he's
heard that
also in Lord of the
when he was on
Rings.
The Boys. Who's he? Who is he in Lord of the Rings?
See, this is the thing. Carl Urban's like the perfect comedian.
A
The chameleon,
chameleon,
maybe.
bro.
He's just there. He was always there. You look it up and be like,
He
he was.
he's
What?
phenomenal too. Like
Yes.
he's killed it in roles recently, but you're right. In general, he's just been really good.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that show. I love that show, but it died. My mother brings up Almost Human.
Almost Human
Yes,
was a
that was
really cool
amazing.
idea.
Have you did you ever watch Almost? I think it's Almost Human. I don't know. I'll see what I find. But he plays like this cop who hates like the world where there's like synthetic people, like, and cops have to have an android companion, and he's playing this hard boiled cop, and they give him
Yes,
this, and they give him this his android, and he hates them. He absolutely despises them. And
oh,
he's
it's the
got a
perfect.
reason for hating it, of course, because like you don't want to develop a chip on your shoulder against technology like that for no reason.
Yeah,
But
or at least if there's good writing, you don't.
yeah, if there's good writing, you don't. Yes, but the show had really good writing. But anyway, like here's the thing: it's like you're driving too fast. And he just unbuckles the seatbelt and pushes out of the car. And so they give him this defective unit, who's more human,
Oh,
try to be human-like.
mhm.
And you find out later that he's got a robotic leg, and
Who,
and the and the
Carl Urban?
and the, yeah, Carl Urban's character's got this robot leg, because you see him at the
Mhm.
beginning, and then like a grenade goes off. You don't know what happens, and you find that he lost
Gotcha.
his leg. So he's
Oh
got an
no,
artificial one, and the
Metronome.
and they give I can't remember who played the android partner guy, but he was the best because he's
Yeah,
supposed to be like funny and stuff. So he's the comedy man, and Carl was playing the
yeah,
straight man. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
exactly.
And then they canceled it after one season because Fox sucks. But it came out at a time
Yeah,
before streaming was a thing, so it's like, nope, we're never gonna see it again.
and that's a shame. There's so many great shows like that that you watch in the past, you almost think they're a fever dream sometimes because no one's heard of them and they're one-offs, but they're fantastic and they deserved to get that second season. They deserve that big
It
fan
deserved
base.
to actually like get something because
Yeah,
honestly, It was something else. I don't usually sit down to watch Western television. When I tell you that I sat down to watch something like Western television, that's usually pretty good. Like, I'll watch a lot of anime in that, and I'll watch like Japanese movies, but like just Western shows, it's gotta be pretty entertaining for me because like I feel like I've seen a lot of it. I'm just like, eh. Like I love Dread, absolutely love
The,
it. The
the
movie
character
Dread,
or the movie? Okay.
the movie Dread. It was so good.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I know people don't don't like it, didn't like it. I don't know why. But I don't sit down and watch movies like that all the time. I'm about like the connoisseur of Western media. I just feel so. I feel like there's like a formula, like a checklist almost, that a lot of Western stuff has to follow.
Hmm.
Like Hollywood's like, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. So when you see
Yeah.
the Jumanjis, which I only went to go see because my pen pal, my Japanese pen pal, was in town when the first one was in, and she wanted to go see it.
Did
So
you
we
enjoy
went-
it at least?
Oh yeah, oh we were having a
Good.
ball. I had to explain one of the jokes to her. I remember that.
Just because of the
My feet-
translation error?
Well, there was no subtitles or anything. She was watching it in English.
Oh, that's just what I mean. Like when you hit that the language barrier, so you can't translate it as well in your head.
Yeah, it was a fun to sit down and watch the movie and see her reactions to things, for sure. But I honestly think it'd be just the same if I went to go see a movie in Japanese.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
you don't
like,
understand a lot of it, but some
well, I
of it you
understand
might
enough of
need.
it. I could probably read my way through, but if stuff
Yeah.
got like the difference between like Japanese film and anime is anime feels much more structured in a way that's like easier to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, now we got completely off track because I mentioned Dread and Carl Urban.
He's great.
Carl Urban's great. I'm glad that you agree because Carl Urban is a treasure.
There's an actor and his name is slipping my mind, so I'm just gonna have to look
Are you
it
thinking
up.
Gerard Butler? Is Gerard
No,
Butler
he's
the person you
also
think
great.
of? A man who literally went to a pub, was drunk, and was like, I could act better than that. And then he did. That is
Jason
literally
Bateman.
his story.
I think I've heard that one too. That's a pretty fun one.
Yes. I, I could do better than that. This is like a pub challenge. I'm like, oh, you're too
Well, he
good.
did better.
You're too good for this world. You gotta love someone who's got that
Jason
kind of
Bateman.
swagger.
Yeah. Do you know who he is, Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman.
He was in Ozark, Arrested Development, Horrible Bosses, Game Night. I think he might have been a character in Zootopia. But he's
I am familiar with
usually-
him, yes. I looked up a picture
Yeah,
of him.
He does a lot of comedy stuff, but he also kind of plays the straight man sometimes. But
Oh, I'm seeing a
he's
younger
never-
picture of him. I remember him from stuff like way earlier. Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
I mean, I think he did do something like way back in the 80s and early 90s, I think.
It was younger. I just saw a picture of
Yeah.
it. Hold on, I'm looking.
I remember he was.
Maybe-
I'm pretty sure he was the announcer in Dodgeball. Like the
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. I'm pretty sure that was him there.
Teen Wolf
yeah.
2.
Yes.
He plays
And,
a character named Todd Howard.
That was not the segue I was trying to make, but I wish I knew in advance because I
This is too
definitely would have
funny.
made it.
Oh God. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
He's the kind of
It's
guy
too
who usually
funny.
plays, the straight man, but in comedies. And
He
you
was
see him
in
like,
Knight Rider
Ozark.
in one episode. That's where I remember that face.
Oh.
right.
Like
I just
the
watched
old
reruns
classic
of
one?
Night. Yeah, with the Hoff. Did you
Yeah.
see
Oh,
that there's a Ultimate Edition of Kung Fury, and you can play as David
yeah.
Hasselhoff?
I didn't know that last part. I know the ultimate version just came out, and I
Yeah,
remember
David
when that was.
Hasselhoff's a playable character now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I gotta pick it up
So
sometime, but
cute.
it's
The movie was funny.
that movie was just like the perfect amount of 80s cheese and just
Yeah,
using what they had. I,
exactly. It
I
was like
still love that
shoestring
they.
budget.
Oh, it was like less than a shoestring budget.
We had half a shoestring.
They have like their basement and some of the
Yeah,
stuff they did, and it was
hacker
just.
man.
I think most of the budget was the jacket.
Yeah, that one surprised me. It was a very nice
They
jacket.
had to buy a jacket for that's what David Hasselhoff did his song. He got the I think he got the song royalties and for the jacket.
That's all
Something
I
like
need,
that.
guys.
I
Give me
I
royalties for this one song and a sweet jacket. I'll be
I
in your
can't
movie.
I can't hate. I can't hate.
Nah, he's a surprisingly sweet and wholesome dude. He did some of the SpongeBob stuff too, and that was always cute to me. He did a caricature of himself making fun of his Baywatch stuff in the original one,
Yeah.
and you did good, Hoff. You did, and it just blows up. I definitely enjoyed that when it came out as a kid, and looking back as an adult, I can still respect the role. I think it's cute that he doesn't mind making fun of himself a bit, and also isn't like one of those guys that's like, I need $1 billion for this role. Have you seen what I've done? I hate that overconfident smugness that sometimes happens to actors who have such a prolific history. So I appreciate seeing the more humble and wholesome stuff. I think he actually did one of the Call of Duty games. Now that we're bringing it up, space something. The Spaceland, the first zombies map in Black Ops 3? No, maybe.
Wasn't is that the one Kevin? No, that's Advanced Warfighter had Kevin Spacey in it, right?
Yeah, that one he was in the campaign. That was a great role, surprisingly. He did really good. I didn't think he would only because he seemed like he was above playing video game characters. But he did a really good job. Um, no, the one I'm talking about, it had Seth Green playing one of the characters in Zombies, but Hoff was playing himself in the first level.
Okay.
Um, I forget. I feel like it was Black Ops. No, it wasn't free, but was it 4? Might have been 4. No, 4 is what I was thinking of, where it had the characters. It might have been free then. I'm losing my mind. I'm just gonna double check quickly because I'll know as soon as I see the character's face. Black Ops free zombies maps.
Hey, is the Mr. Driller game on sale, Takashina?
Oh, is there?
I don't know. She's talking about uh Takashina.
I
She
think.
is like my source of what's going on in Japan with Xbox.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The VTuber, the Xbox
Yeah.
VTuber, with her 117, um, with energy sword hairpin.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
I'm dumb. That's what it was. Infinite Warfare Zombies. It had uh Hasselhoff was in the first level. Let me see what he was called.
Castle.
Eh, yes, David Hasselhoff. People were trying to play as him. Yes, David Hasselhoff, also known as the Spaceland DJ. He's a secret unlockable celebrity character for use in that mode. He assists characters fighting the zombies and gives hints towards the progression of the story.
Have
So
you
he
ever
was like
like
a
looked up a
character.
thing? I'm sidetracking because I saw Mr. Driller,
No worries.
but I typed in Mr. and the first thing that showed up was Mr. Masagi Mayo Edition.
Oh man,
I, s-
Google's
I s-
great for that.
no, this is on the Xbox store.
Oh, Oh wait, speaking of Xbox Store, because you made me think of
Okay, we're doing it
AI.
live. Let's look at this.
Um,
I don't know
trying
what
to think,
this is.
what the
What does this looks? That's not what I expected. Wait, is this?
the mayo in the bikini.
What is this? What?
Day one by.
I don't know if this
What are
is
the
new.
reviews
Or this
like?
came out like 3 years ago.
Oh my god,
So wait,
dude.
wait, hold on.
The full game of My Name is Mayo is included and ready to go. The mayonnaise might not be actual mayonnaise. Uh-oh.
How did
Please
this
do not
get by?
spread the...
How did this get by ID at Xbox? Someone explain this to me. We can't have
Seriously.
this. We can't have Galgun.
Yeah, and
What is this?
that was a pretty sexy mayonnaise bottle in that bikini. So
There's
I
a
mean,
fuck. Look at this. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm
Trying to
so
put a
glad that's
ring
a
on it,
finger. I didn't think that was a finger at first, and I was very worried. I don't know
and
what I thought it
then
was.
yeah,
It
but
didn't look
like,
like a
what's
finger.
going on here?
Um,
There's like a werewolf
you
girl.
shot an
There's
ecstasy shot in her?
Mayo.
Yeah, there's some wine in the background, so you were That's a nice mayo. Look at the one to the left. One more. Oh my god, it has the whipped cream bikini nipples. Oh
Yeah.
look, there's the mayo on the ground in that picture with the bikini.
What?
Random fact 200. Every year, about 98% of the atoms in your body something
Are replaced in
replace.
your hashtag
Like I find
body, hashtag your body are replaced. The font cuts
so
off though.
weird.
Oh no, it doesn't. Only when you
Sure.
minimize it, it cuts. What? What is this? Okay, anyway, back to Mr. Driller.
Yeah.
It is on sale.
The Mr. Raccoon first bit that came up. I'm sorry, wait. Right next to Mr. Driller, did it say Mr. Fuck Me? Fuck me, Mr. Direct.
Hung.
I'm sorry. That caught my eye because I saw what looked like too many arms or legs right next to Mr. Driller, and it was way worse than I imagined. Fantastic.
Yep. Yep.
I
Welcome to
might have
what's
to get
allowed
the
on the
Drillland
store.
one because I had a friend that bought it and we played it sometimes, and that was fun. And that's a really good price. What is it? $4.99 here, I assume, if it's
Probably like
$5.99.
that. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun
Yeah,
game.
this one it was like a whole
Yeah, it's
theme
a theme
park.
park. Yeah.
Yeah, and each ride, quote unquote, was like a different game mode.
Yeah. There's like the air one. You have to play different of the Driller family.
Yeah,
Like
the
Dad had
haunted
different
house one
mechanics
was
than
cool. Yeah, and
yeah.
I think it has co-op too. I know it has like
I haven't
versus.
gotten paid yet, so I'll put it on the wish list. I will pick it up later.
Does it say how long the sale's going on?
No. Uh, I think it's a new sale because Takamishino was talking about it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I like
thank
all
her.
the ones that got added today. You know, the other thing that just got added that Xbox did, it's not exactly game related. They did the AI that draws pictures now for you based
Oh
on what you
god,
describe
no.
to it.
No. Please no.
As long as, like we talked about earlier, as long as it's used as a tool and not the finished product, then I don't think it's a bad thing. Jabber was using it to create characters in the My Hero Academia style. He was just curious, so he was, giving you commands like, "Hey, draw this character, but based on this guy's art style," and it came with some really cool things. Obviously, those aren't finished products that you can just claim are yours, but it's fun for making either profile pictures or giving you an idea of trying to create something of your own. Like if you wanted to draw something in a style, I think it's cool that it can help visualize some. But like anything, if it's used as a tool to help create and not just pretend. Like if I got a hammer and I was, sitting in an anvil and I picked up the hammer and then gave it to someone and said, "This is what I made." I didn't. I could use it to make something. I didn't make anything yet. The hammer is technically done, you know. I don't have to build it like anything else, but it's not a product. I feel like that's what people use with AI too much. It can be used to make helpful things. It should not be used to take things and then present it as your own. Because that's only half of what it does. You got to finish by using it as a tool.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but uh, I just
Oh, I forget. Had you played Diablo 4 yet?
no, I did not get into the beta, and because I didn't want to pay for it because it's like $90 here.
Oh God, I forgot.
Hold on, let me
Canada didn't
check
play
again.
Oh yeah.
because this weekend it'll be open to everyone for 2 days, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. So if anyone's watching this and they did want to play, if you did pre-order it, you would have had from last Friday until this Sunday. But if you
Yes,
don't pre-order it, you can still play it this Friday until Sunday. And I believe it has online, and you can play up to like the end of chapter 1 or something crazy. They
it
always end up
doesn't.
doing something like that.
The progress does not carry over though.
Yeah, it does not, because I think they're doing a lot of class testing, quote unquote, with this. So they're probably going to make a lot of changes progression wise, whether it's adding or completely taking things off characters, seeing how they work in a setting with the players. So yeah, while it can feel unfortunate to not carry the progress over, I do understand it. They just want to get a player's take and then fiddle around and change things, and I'm for that. You know, so that way at launch it'll be a better product. Are you
Hmm.
excited for it, or is it not as much your style?
The price point has really been putting me off. I played like all the Diablo games, even the
Same.
original one, and it's just this one. It's just been the price and the like weird
So I now understand why
monetization
that
stuff.
chick was
Did you see the? I remember I posted about them. I don't know if you commented on them ever.
full health with over shield.
The weird Japanese burgers that showed up at Burger King around Christmas time for
Oh, I didn't
Diablo
see any
4.
post. No,
Oh, do I
well,
still have the pictures? I should still have the pictures.
yeah, I hadn't seen those. That sounds hilarious, though.
There was like the butcher burger, and it was like there was a piece of chicken, and I want to say beef or pork on it too. And like Lilith had a burger. It was weird, but it was also fun.
No, I wish I'd seen it. I definitely would have commented if I
I
had.
did post. I remember posting them, but it was like Christmas. It was right
Yeah,
around Christmas, so it might have
my
been
feed could
Christmas
have been
Day.
flooded with all sorts of stuff,
Yeah,
so I might have
that's
missed
what
it.
happens, right?
Yeah, or at least these days, that's what should happen. But my For You page has a bunch of random shit, so I
My
don't even see
God,
what
I don't even know
friends
what the
post
for you
sometimes.
page is for. Why would you make a for you and a following if the following page just broken as the other one?
Yeah, it feels like
Moving target.
how YouTube kind of like doesn't show you as much from your subscribers anymore. It shows you stuff similar to them, which on one hand
Yes.
you'd think is nice, but on the other hand, it's like, no, I subscribe to them because I want to see the shit they're making.
So Lilith had a spicy tomato double cheese whopper, and it came
Hmm?
with stickers. I only saw this because I think his handle is I love this company, and he always puts on like finding. Again, I follow Japanese Xbox gamers because they're cool people. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
them, but they're cool. They're like open on Twitter. No, not that too many of them. The butcher one, yeah, it was like a chicken patty over top of a beef Whopper patty with bacon bits in the middle, with what
so
looks
is
like
this
some
the,
barbecue sauce. And I'll send the
the kind
pictures
of
in a
stuff they'd
second.
order? Okay,
They're like a promo thing, and you got stickers with them.
I'm guessing I have to use the
interesting.
Gotta, gotta, oh, it's garlic. Garlic. That's what I'm saying. It's loan words. Loan words are my main. Trying to read it, and I'm like, yeah.
Ew, you loan words instead of buying them? Gross. In this
Um,
industry?
um. Here, I'll send the pictures over. Shoot.
Fuck your parents.
I won't shut it. Not shutting it. Suggestion. Can I just pick one? Ah, here we go.
Keep them alive.
Yes, this one. Send. Okay. They'll be there. But yeah, they had like a weird promo in Japan for them. That's where I first saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, the game's coming out this year. And then I saw the price and was like, nope.
Yeah, for me, I'm not worried about the price, not because I have a lot of money, but because I'm go through, they'll be first party, and I won't have to pay for it. It'll be on Game Pass.
And the thing is, I bought Diablo. Was it, I think it was 2. You could buy it at Christmas time, and they gave you 3 for like free
Yeah,
with
they make
all the
Reaper
DLC,
Pro.
and it was like
Yeah.
20 something dollars. So I picked that up, but Diablo
Yeah,
2 on
that's very
console
cool.
is uh it
You're not a fan?
feels its age. It feels
It does, but I still enjoyed it. Um,
My man.
I definitely gotta go through again with friends at some point. It's such a different experience to free, only because the free that we have now is so baby edition. I remember when I first played it, you had to buy your potions. You know, you had to.
I honestly don't mind getting rid of a lot of like the junk. Like, oh, potion cooldown's dumb, and I'm like, is it?
That's the
I
thing.
don't.
It's on a cooldown now, but you have an unlimited amount. You used to
Yeah,
have to buy them,
yeah,
and
but
if you
does
ran
that
out,
make
you
the
were
game actually
screwed.
better? That's what I'm
No, I'd
saying.
say it makes it different,
Yeah,
and that's okay. It's okay to be different. The only reason I joke and say baby mode is because with the game now, it feels like you are almost. It almost feels like a Warriors game. We feel pretty overpowered against everything they throw you until one boss or strong enemy comes in, and then you finally have a challenge. But before that, it feels like pretty weak guys you just toss to the side, and that's okay. It's just when I first played it, it was not like that. I remember I would create a character on the hardest difficulty, and the first 4 enemies would be boss fights on their own to try to survive. And if I get past that and level up, it's like, hey, now I might be able to stand a chance. I've unlocked the ability to use a potion and have more than just basic attack. And that was kind of a challenge. And now you can start on the hardest difficulty, and the first 4,000 enemies are no problem. And then you fight a harder enemy, and suddenly you get wiped. It's like, oh, so again, it's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing, and that's totally okay. It's just so weird to have that experience when it's the same game, like to see it evolve over time like that.
yeah. To be honest though, Diablo 3 at launch, I was there. It was not good. I put it through the story, and it was just like, I'm done. Don't want to play anymore. Which is bad, because Diablo's supposed to be one of those endlessly replayable games. Hmm. And I
I
came
feel
back
like
for
it
the
needs more
expansion.
customization.
Well, the new customization looks better, but
Yeah, well, not just characters. I mean, for like progression too. Like, I feel like the moves that they had, they need to be a bit more with a little more variety. The way the level up system worked in that game was a little where like you might have gotten a move you liked, but you might not get a rune that's helpful for it for a very long time. You're gonna unlock weird random shit you don't care about.
yeah, the runes unlock were weird.
Yeah. So again, it's just things I would have changed going forward. It's not like the game was bad, I enjoyed it, but it didn't have the same longevity to it. And I don't know what the fuck they were doing with that PvP mode. They didn't put a lot of work or effort into that, it felt like. And I don't remember anyone using it ever. And I played that game a lot, and I still don't remember anyone ever using it in all that time.
I never played. Do they even have the PvP mode anymore? I've never even checked.
Like when you're in the village, I don't even know if it's there anymore. You might be right. You used to talk to the dude at the bottom left, and he was like, "Hey, I could take you to a cool spot where you could fight your friends." And there was like a very tiny arena where you could just wander around and hurt each other, and there wasn't much to it. And you'd walk to a little portal and it would shit you back out. And I was like, oh, okay. With all the customization and equipment and RNG, it would have been a cool idea to have PvP, challenges and awards, just in general. But it seemed weird to toss in such a low effort area.
Yeah, it's something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay. My mount has shown up, so
Guy with the hat.
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna have to jerry rig some stuff with a bit of boring.
No, you gotta hold it.
Boring. So let's finish it up. What are you looking forward to this week besides Resident Evil 4? Because you got a lot of week to go before that. Just a few days.
That's true.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a game.
Yeah. I think.
Because the anime is also ending this week. There's a couple that are
That's
ending this
true.
week. It's gonna be the last episode of Onimai. I don't know how I'm
That's
gonna live with that.
You're gonna have to start reading the manga.
I don't know. I've been enjoying it so far, but I've heard some of the one of the big changes from the manga to the anime was they skipped a very weird onsen trip, and sounding what it was, I'm kind of glad they did, because honestly, that sounded like it would have totally ruined the show, in my opinion.
Oh. Well, then I'm glad they did that too. I don't know, but I know a lot of people were enjoying the
You know
show,
the
and-
basic process is it's a guy, it's a girl.
Yeah.
Who's completely become a girl. Yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I have a feeling. I'm hopefully it's like a fun ending, because it's a slice of life show basically.
Oh, exactly. It seems very wholesome. It doesn't feel like they're trying to tackle the universe. They're just having a good time with the characters.
There
Is
has
that
been like
one-
some lewd stuff in it, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it seems like one of those teasing. It's not like reaching smut level or anything.
No.
It's more
No,
like
that's
teasing things.
Inu Kai-san.
I was worried when you started. I'm like, is he gonna say Inuyasha? I don't remember that.
No, Inu Kai. Well, my life is Inu Kai-san's dog.
Yeah,
That
one is
that's just smut. It's just smut.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's just etchy bait.
You just watch it just to see. We're basically watching it. If you want to see how this train wreck's gonna conclude, that's basically what we're
Exactly.
watching it for. Just to
And
watch
I
it with
feel
my
like that's
girlfriend
what
get over
happened
it.
with interspecies reviewers, and that's kind of similar to why people watch Rent a Girlfriend. It's just, in Rent a Girlfriend's case, it's so bad you just want to see the dumpster fire.
I don't
and where it
actually
goes.
think Red Girlfriend's that bad. I really don't. I think a lot of people project on it. The second
That's
season was
definitely true.
pretty good. The first season was just like, this guy's a complete idiot. But when he's finally getting his act together in the second season, and hopefully the third season is much better. But like,
I mean, I've read a little bit of the manga, and all I can say is, it can definitely ruin the experience when it feels like the main character doesn't learn mistakes, and
that is a problem with a lot of them.
Yeah. Especially main character syndrome, or harem syndrome, as some people call it, where
What's the
the
thing? You
main
have to.
character
If
is
he picks a
idiot.
girl, you have to add it. He has technically
Yeah.
picked a girl, but now we're gonna
Yeah.
choose another one to make it all again, and I'm like,
Yeah, and that's the
why?
frustrating part. It's like, you need to commit to a character, yet it's gonna suck for people who don't choose that one and they want someone else. But
That's why I thought the ending of the anime, not the manga. I haven't read the manga for More Than a Married Couple, but not lovers.
Mhm.
But the way they ended it was clever and good enough that it could go for either way for any person, and I'm assuming
Yeah.
there's gonna be a definite answer at
That's-
some point.
yeah, that's what you got to do, especially for an anime that you don't have enough seasons. You have to make it open ended, because Quintet, people were really upset with that one, that one character won out of the 5.
I
And
didn't care.
if-
I was upset that it wasn't the girl I liked, but
yeah, I mean, we have
I'm
the
not gonna
same-
say who it is.
same one.
I'm not gonna say who it is, and I'm not gonna say who didn't win. Because if I say
yeah,
who
I'm not
didn't
spoiling
win,
anything. Yeah,
then I'm gonna
there's only
ruin it
4.
when you watch the
It's
movie.
an almost spoiler.
The thing is
Yeah.
that the movie is good though. Like, and they kind of go through it, and it makes sense when you watch it back, and it's like,
Yeah.
because the two of them were basically, they were always like close, and they were always like, they were never like
Yeah.
awkward with each other. Like all the other girls
Yeah.
felt
It
awkward with
wasn't
him.
quite. Yeah. They all had a little bit of a distance, even though they cared about him, and he didn't with her. He
No,
just they clicked well.
yeah,
They meshed.
they
But then
did,
there was
and
another
it
series,
it makes
I
sense.
forget what it was called, where it had the opposite problem, where people were mad that it went with a harem ending and that he didn't pick anyone. Um, and I actually saw on Reddit people were talking about it recently, where they were hoping for a current running anime that it would be good, but they weren't sure which is the right choice because they were comparing those two, and it's like you choose everyone, people get mad. You choose one because you can't pick everyone, people get mad. You can't really win. You just have to go
Uh,
with whichever you think is best.
yeah, only my okay for anime that are ending this week, because I'm gonna tweet about the stuff that ends this week and start my 2023 anime that I've watched list.
Oh, like the spring
The
ones.
magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady ends this week. I don't know where that's going. It's been something else. There's been so many delays with anime though that it's been
Yeah,
like near
a
we're
lot of
halfway
COVID
through
stuff.
it, and they just did the fish ending.
Did it
It,
get delayed again?
yeah, they
Okay.
postponed the second half. It's been like Bufuri's second season also has been weird.
Mhm.
Oh, there's I had 3 or 4 more. I don't know. Yeah, Buddy
And
Daddies
like
was
I
weird.
get it. Everyone wants to say COVID's over, but the effects, especially for businesses like that and industries,
It's
it
not.
still affects
It's
them.
but the thing is that it's not, and I just found out that my niece got the new variant.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's
I hope
okay.
she does all right with it.
She was. So that's what I mean. It's like
Yeah,
that's why I don't like people being like, "It's over. It's done. It's okay.
yeah,
We can go back to normal." It's never gonna be normal. Normal is
well,
never. It's
exactly.
never gonna be the same. It's the same, but after everything else happened. But I don't want to get into
Yeah,
politics. We're talking anime right now. Yeah, Inukai's dog's ending, and I need to know how. If my life is Inukai's dog, I just need to know how it ends.
what
You
if he
know, like
turns into a cat
I've
next?
watched this far. I gotta watch the train wreck. Like I gotta
Exactly.
watch it end. I'm just
I mean,
committed at this point.
people
I
try
don't
to
expect anything
screw up.
good from it. What ridiculous crap is coming?
Maybe
I
she'll
I
do a dog.
I definitely love. It's been fun watching with my girlfriend. She's just like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And I'm like, I don't understand this. She's like, I don't understand this. Why don't you just get a dildo? Use your fingers. It's easier.
Out of context, use your fingers is not great. Just throwing that out there.
It. Well, she was talking about it was a woman who was doing it. She said,
That's what I assumed.
"Yep, they're just doing the desk thing," and I'm like, I don't get this. I never got that. What's so attractive about this? I don't know. The corner of the desk. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know. But you gotta
you see it a lot. I don't.
if you're gonna watch at least 5 episodes of a show, you gotta watch them all at that point. If a show
Yeah,
doesn't get good till 5
for
episodes in,
12 episodes. Yeah,
I might as well just watch the whole thing. They're 12-minute episodes. It's not going to be good. I knew going in it wasn't going to be good. It was basically a joke pick I threw on the list. Be like, yeah, let's watch this because I know it's going to be a train wreck. Let's go.
but sometimes that's what you need. Like, if it's gonna be something that you just sit there to laugh at, even if it's to mock, then it did a good job of entertaining you. Not for the right reasons, but it's still entertained.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, which I literally binge watched on this weekend. All 11 episodes that were up. That
I
is,
really enjoy
it's a pretty good show.
it.
I'm a little sad I missed it on the hop, but it's fine. It's
You
funny
still found
and
it.
it's clever in spots, and I kind of feel like the title makes people not want to watch it. But Japanese titles are always weird, right? Like they're kind of crazy.
I mean, a lot of the time it's uh, like the reason they have those crazy long light novels and stuff, right? They don't
Uh,
have a lot of space when they're trying to advertise the description of their series. So it's very common for them to put the description of the series in the title. And that kind of carried over for both the manga and then translations. They, when you're passing just a bunch of names on a list, you're just choosing for what you want to read.
That's why you
the
have to
thing
pick
that's on
fun
the title.
titles like Fufu Icho.
Yeah, well, exactly. So these days you just see entire descriptions instead of a fun title because they're trying to explain their story in the title to get you interested to read it. But because they all sound like that now, it's not enough to do that anymore. So I think just making a fun title that's
That's why when
interesting.
I literally saw an anime called the Married Couple but Not Lovers. I'm like, I gotta watch this,
Exactly, like it
and
draws you in.
it was good. It was good. Also,
Yeah,
like Do It Yourself. That was a good show.
yeah.
If you just want to watch wholesome like schoolgirls doing do it yourself projects, honestly, and a lot of the information in it is good and accurate.
Yeah, it was a little DIY.
It was fun.
It reminds me of K-On! And of course, Bochi is a good example. There's a
Bochi is a different animal entirely. I feel
yeah,
like I
but
love
the
Bochi,
idea
but I'm
of
not gonna. I would not put Bochi in the same category as like K-On! Because
no, I
one of my friends watched it thinking it was gonna be like K-On! It's not like K-On! And he was very mad. And I'm like,
it did do what
it's
K-On! Meant to do though, which was put actual music in and hear the singing instead of just watching the girls play instruments and then that's it.
uh the thing with Bochi is that if the songs aren't subtitled and you don't know what the lyrics are, they actually like tell a story,
Oh, I bet
and it's
most songs
kind of
do, or at least good songs.
well, no, I mean like all the stories, like they're different phases of Bochi, like the guitar. What's it called again? Guitar, the Blue Planet, Guitar, Loneliness, and Blue Planet. Uh, the like the big song they write, like first
Yeah,
one. That song is like basically like Bochi's starting points. Even like the ending themes. Like there's like what's wrong with being young. Like that's cause
yeah,
the
it's like
thing
a
is I'm
mini
trying to
coming of
talk about
age.
them. Kind of. It's not even about coming of age. It's about her like developing as a person. And he didn't like the show. It's like, well, I thought they were emphasizing uh and explaining all these social anxieties.
No, I mean they're not out here to tell you a story about how a character overcame that and the
Yeah,
struggles of living with that.
it's not
It's not.
overcoming it. It's about
Yeah,
that's the thing, and it's what he didn't seem to get. It's like she's come so far from the very first episode.
yeah,
Like by
and you
the
can see
end,
it.
and you're watching the very end, and the way that the I don't want to spoil it, but the way that the end is, and it's like the mirror inverse of the very beginning
Yeah,
was so clever, and it's just
yeah, it's
the
very
thing is, I've
satisfying to
seen
see.
people like talking about it. This is the show that have never watched anime in their life. Like there was a
Yeah,
pastor who does like isn't pastor. He does music service for churches, and
hmm
he's talking about it, and he's like there's all these teachable moments in it. It's like this is like real life. It's like oh her this happens and look like she picks it up and it's like and this
yeah. I
happens.
like when there's parallels for things that aren't just the topic, like whether it's a game that relates to people who aren't gamers, or a movie for people who don't enjoy those, music for people who aren't really musically inclined. When you're telling a good story through whatever medium you're doing, if it
Yeah.
can draw people in who aren't interested normally in
I
that
don't know
medium,
if he was
I
even
think you're
interested
doing a
in the
good job.
story so much as if he's just interested in the way the performances were handled because they're very real feeling in Bochi. Like Bochi was
They do their homework.
honestly it deserves all the praise it got. It really does.
Yeah.
And people who don't get it don't get it. That's the thing. And that was the yeah. Yeah, my mother was saying, as she is commenting in the back, that it was fun and it could take social anxieties and touch on them in a way that isn't really preachy. That's what she liked about it. Yeah, my mom watches
Yeah,
anime too. She watched all of Bochi. Bochi was great, and I honestly
yeah,
feel like Bochi was the best anime of the last season. I know Chainsaw Man got a lot of hype in that, but like I think Bochi's
yeah,
going to be that one anime that people talk about for a lot longer.
yeah. It doesn't feel like it's just gonna survive,
Oh,
fall off again.
no, that's the thing. Like with the some anime, it feels like they're just like one and done. That's the thing. Like I know stuff like I even really liked Dress Up My Darling for
You
that kind
really
of
didn't.
reason. I really liked it. I really liked it. It
Yeah,
was my favorite. Top of my list. Boshi was number 2. And I feel like it's another one of those shows that kind of transcends what it's trying to do and
yeah.
becomes something
It
just
passes the genre a bit.
yeah. It's like, oh, it's a romantic comedy. I'm like, it's kind of, but it's so realistic
So
in
much more.
spots. You know,
Yeah,
there's so much more. Like he's so self-conscious. It's so, and it's really interesting to see. It, my mom liked it because there was like textiles and stuff. That's why I wanted her to watch it. It's like there's a guy that makes cosplays for this girl, and because she used to make all the costumes and stuff. Oh,
that's awesome.
and it's fun to see them touch on stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that positive
Yeah, like the
momentum and stuff in
parallels.
the second season coming, but there's like seeds dropped that there's seeds in the first season that are interesting. Did you have any like super like some of your absolute 100% favorites of last year anime wise
Um,
besides
no, I mean,
Bochi? Because I know
yeah, I
Bochi's
was gonna
like top
say
of
I
the
was
list.
unfortunately pretty plain. Where like the ones I ended up enjoying were a lot of people's top favorites. Um, I don't think I had any out of the ordinary one last year.
But
Um,
you haven't watched Akiba Made Sense, so right?
I have not yet. I really want to though. I need to get caught up more because I'm so excited for certain things that are coming this year that I missed. Like I really enjoyed Mirko-chan, um, and I've been following the manga for that. I get distracted lately where I'll follow a manga and I'm really excited for the release and watch that and then forget to watch all the other releases that come. Um, so I got to get back on that and just take a day or two, sit down, and just binge all the shit I've been missing.
I also thought Red Eye Flops was interesting because you think it's going to be just a harem anime, but it's not.
That
It's
sounds
not.
familiar. What was
Red
the
Eye
premise?
Flops means basically love flops.
Hmm.
It's it makes you think it's a harem anime. It makes you think it's a harem anime, but it's not.
How does it
Uh,
subvert the expectations? Like, what
I'm
is the
not
plot
telling
end up
you because
being
if I
like?
tell you, it'll ruin the
Oh,
whole thing. You just have to watch.
gotcha.
You just have to watch it. It's good. It was a good
Yeah,
one. I'm just looking through my list last year because apparently I did not put the top on here. Yeah, Rent a Girlfriend. Oh, did you watch Licorice Recoil?
I've seen clips from it. I haven't sat down. I love. Uh, what is her name?
Sato?
Is it Chizuru?
Chisato?
Chisato. Yes, the blonde one.
Chizuru is Rent a Girlfriend.
Yes, that's why that name was on my mind. I'm so out of it. That's right. Chizuru is the main girl, one of the good ones in Rent a Girlfriend. Yes, Chisato is the blonde one.
Best one. Sato's the bottom one, and Takina is the other one.
Yeah, I've
I love
seen
Takina.
obviously all the
Get
Yuri bait
it?
and all that stuff.
No, you get yourself a girl that can do both. Takina is that girl. Look cute and use a light machine gun.
Exactly. Oh, there's a lot of really cute stuff in that.
I think it's
Which,
getting a second season, and also every time you see Kojima lately, he's got a Licorice Recoil shirt on. So you better
yeah, I love when you see stuff like that, though.
I'm
Like
like, guys,
completely out of the genre, and you're like, oh,
that's Hideo Kojima. Who's got this? I'm like, yeah.
that's a good sign. That's how you know you made it.
Oh yeah, Justin Chan. Justin Chan dropkick. X.
Wait, what dropkick?
Have you ever seen it's called Dropkick on My Devil. We call it Dropkick on My Devil here, but it's Justin Chan Dropkick X. Was the latest season.
It's, isn't that the one with the little blonde
Snake Girl?
girl? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
always forgot the name of that. I just remembered the dropkick part. I love the scene with Miku, and oh, that was a great one.
there's so
They did a
Miku's in
great
every
job
episode
voice.
of that season.
Yeah,
Because they were supposed to do something else, but COVID delayed it, so they got just put Miku in every episode.
they're like, well, we got the money to use her. I
Well,
guess
they
we
had the
might as
rights
well.
to use her, but they couldn't do. They wanted to do like a concert or something, but they couldn't.
Yeah, so
So,
like, screw it. We already spent the money. Might as well put her everywhere we can.
yeah. Oh, it was funny.
Yeah, I love that series because it's such a great example of cute, characters doing cute things, but for all the wrong reasons.
I don't say. I would not say that show's cute. It gets
Uh,
fun, and sometimes it's
yeah,
cute, and then sometimes it's just morbid. And you're just like,
yeah.
what? It just takes you along for the ride.
I
I kind
guess
of.
my expectations for things are so neutered, and I
Oh no, I completely the same. I
yeah,
completely understand the You're like, oh well, this is like this is how this works. I'm like, yeah, that's makes sense.
yeah,
But you expect certain things. That's why I always love anime, because it can have the super serious and the ridiculously silly and
yeah,
pace it so
and
well. There are
they
ones that
don't
don't do
usually
it
get
well.
credit for it. Oh yeah,
I don't act like the
definitely.
medium's perfect.
Definitely. And one of the things I appreciate about it, though, is the commitment to the cringy level of stuff, so that it kind of becomes more than that. Um, a great example is Power Rangers and Sentai in general.
Kamen
Um,
Rider.
yeah, exactly. All those things, when you watch them, are absolutely cringy. But because they're done so straight faced and with so much passion, it doesn't come off as embarrassing first or second hand.
It,
It just feels like passionate and realistic. Even when they're doing the
that's
goofy stuff.
because there's like this Japanese mentality is doing everything in earnest.
Yeah, which is one of the things that can make or break uh, certain anime, dubs that they do over there. And that's why some people like hearing the sub versus the dub, even if they don't speak it, because that passion and earnestness will come through, and some people really like that, even if they don't. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell if you don't know the language, how well someone might be doing in the role to a degree, but
But
I feel like
the
that's one
sound
of
of
the things
someone
people still
crying
prefer.
or the someone like completely distressed is
Yeah,
universal. It's just like the way the
exactly.
voice is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It definitely is something.
You may be surprised to find that thing is a thing.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta do some modifications. Use the washroom. So
Sounds good.
that's it for me. And you. And next week we'll be talking about who knows what.
You.
Who knows? I don't know what's gonna happen. Probably some Resident Evil
I
4
know.
stuff.
I was gonna say I'm gonna talk about Resident Evil 4 and how awesome it is, and not.
I would love to
Not.
have played Rise of 3, but I, I can't. I can't justify spending money on a digital copy of it day one for PC
Yeah,
when Resident Evil 4 is out the same day.
exactly.
I can't do it. I love you, Rise,
That's what you're
but no.
thinking. I mean, maybe I could if it was on like
Well,
something like
Loop
that.
8 was also supposed to come out this week originally, but it got delayed into
Yeah,
the
it's not that
summer.
late, right?
Yeah, I think it's like July or June. I don't know. I already have my copy pre-ordered. I'm not worried. It comes when it
I
comes.
mean, it couldn't be any more delayed than Advance Wars became.
Oh god, that's so weird. Is it finally
I
coming?
I heard that it's supposed to finally be coming later this year, like November or October or something. Which is crazy because I had it pre-ordered for right near my birthday, like a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago at this point. And then it got
Oh,
delayed, and then it was gonna come out, and then a war happened, and they were like, we wouldn't want to offend people with zero relation to that war. Then it got
oh, I
delayed.
kind of understand why they would because it's not like there's a faction in there that's kind of
Yeah, but so
I
many
I
wars have Russians as the bad guys.
I mean there's literally an arcade game called Rush in Attack.
I mean,
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
look at
That's what it's
every Call
called.
of Duty. Every Call of Duty is either Iraq and Arabs or Russians and Russia. Those are the bad guys. I'm not
Remember
saying they fight.
Homefront? Was
Yeah,
North and South Korea combined, and I'm like, what? That's never gonna
yeah.
happen.
The
Like
big
at the time,
Korea.
I'm like, all right, suspend disbelief, but now I'm like, that's never gonna happen. I'm old
They
enough to
needed it to
know
form.
that ain't never gonna happen. All right, okay, blabbled
Yeah.
enough. Till next week.
Bye.